Trying to figure out your finances can feel, well, overwhelming. It's like someone hands you this ridiculously complicated map but forgets to give you a compass. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We're going to take that crazy map and turn it into a simple, clear, step-by-step journey. Let's get right into it.
We're going to walk through this together in 4 big steps. First, we'll lay down the foundation with your credit score. That's the bedrock of everything. Then we'll draw up the blueprint for building wealth with some smart investing strategies. After that, we'll grab the right tools for the job by looking at retirement accounts. And finally, we'll talk about securing your legacy with estate planning. See? It's a logical path from start to finish.
All right, first things first, the foundation. You wouldn't build a house on shaky ground, right? Of course not. And the exact same thing is true for your financial life. You need a solid base to build on. And that base, whether you think about it much or not, is your credit score.
So what exactly is this thing? Well, it's your FICO score. FICO is just the company that came up with the scoring model, and their score is used in a staggering 90% of lending decisions. Think about that for a second. 9 out of 10 times the lender is trying to figure out if you're a good bet, they're looking at this 3-digit number. It's basically your financial report card. Okay, so why should you care so much about this score? Because it translates into real money. A lot of real money. That number you're looking at, $75,960, that's the potential savings on a 30-year mortgage for someone with a great FICO score versus someone with a not-so-great one. This isn't just some abstract number. It has a huge, real-world impact on your wallet.
So, how do they even come up with this score? It's not magic, it's a formula, and it's based on 5 key things from your credit report. You've got your payment history, that's simple, did you pay your bills on time? Then there's amounts owed, how much of your available credit are you actually using? You've got length of credit history, new credit, and finally your credit mix. Do you have a healthy variety of credit like cards and loans?
Now, all 5 of those things matter, but this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows you exactly where to focus your energy. Payment history and amounts owed, together, they make up 65%, almost 2/3 of your entire FICO score. So here's the bottom line. If you want to build a strong foundation, the 2 most important things you can possibly do are pay your bills on time every single time and keep your credit card balances low. That's the secret sauce.
Okay, so our solid foundation is poured. Now it's time to look at the blueprint for the incredible structure we're going to build on top of it. This is where we shift gears and start talking about how to create real, long-term wealth through investing.
Any good blueprint starts with a few core principles, and these 5 from Charles Schwab are fantastic. First, you've got to know your goals. I mean, are you saving for a house in 5 years or for retirement in 30? The game plan is totally different. Second, know your risk tolerance. How much can you watch the market bounce around before you start losing sleep at night? You have to be honest with yourself. Third, and this is a huge one, diversify. We'll get back to that. Fourth, be ready to adjust your plan when life happens. And fifth, and this might be the hardest one of all, you have to learn to ignore the short-term noise from the daily market drama.
That third principle, diversification, is so important it has its own famous saying. And you've heard it a million times, but it is so much more than just a cliche. It's really the bedrock of smart investing. When you spread your investments across different things, like stocks and bonds, and different industries, you're not betting your entire future on one single company or sector. So if the tech industry has a rough year, hey, maybe healthcare has a great one, and that helps balance everything out. It just creates a much smoother ride for the long haul.
So we have our foundation and we've got our blueprint. What now? Well, now you need the actual tools to build this thing. This is where we get practical and turn that grand investment strategy into action by picking the right retirement accounts.
And that brings us to one of the most common questions in all of personal finance. You know you should be saving in an IRA, an individual retirement account, but which one do you pick? Roth? Traditional? They sound almost the same, but the difference between them is absolutely critical. This table really breaks it all down. The whole game comes down to one question. When do you want to pay your taxes? With a Roth IRA, you put in money that you've already paid taxes on. You pay the tax man now. But the amazing part is your qualified withdrawals in retirement are 100% tax-free. With a traditional IRA, you might get a tax deduction now, which is nice, but you'll have to pay income tax on all that money when you take it out in retirement. Also notice, Roth IRAs have income limits, and you're never forced to take money out, which is a pretty cool perk. So how in the world do you choose? It all comes down to this one question you have to ask yourself. Do I think I'll be in a higher tax bracket in retirement than I am right now? If you think the answer is yes, maybe your career is just getting started, then the Roth IRA is probably your best bet. You pay the taxes now at your lower rate, But if you think you'll be in a lower tax bracket later on, then that upfront deduction from a traditional IRA might look pretty tempting.
We did it. We laid the foundation, we drew up the blueprint, and we used the right tools to build our financial house. There's just one last step, putting a roof on it and making sure it stands strong for the people we care about, long after we're gone. This is all about your legacy.
Now, estate planning can sound like this big, complicated, even scary thing, right? But at its heart, it's actually really simple. It's just the process of making your wishes known for what happens if you can't make decisions for yourself. And honestly, it is one of the kindest, most generous things you can do for your loved ones. You're saving them from so much stress and guesswork during what's already a really tough time. A will is really the cornerstone of this whole plan. And it's for so much more than just deciding who gets your fancy lamp. This is where you name an executor, the person you trust to make sure everything gets done. And, maybe most importantly, this is where you name guardians for your kids, and even caretakers for your pets. These are huge, vital decisions that only you can make.
So there you have it, a 4-step journey, taking you from laying the very first brick of your foundation all the way to securing your legacy. The path is clear. The map is in your hands. The only question left is, what's your next step going to be?